Discrimination unfortunately happens more often than we'd like to think, in the workplace, at the grocery store, and sometimes even in your own home. Today I want to tell you of the story of a case that shows how tenants, especially those living with disabilities, can face serious illegal discrimination. And more importantly, I want to show how you can fight back. Linda and Domenic Matarese were longtime tenants at an apartment complex in Arlington, Virginia. What started as everyday housing quickly turned into a nightmare. The couple experienced unfair treatment and illegal retaliation from management. It was so bad that they filed a federal housing discrimination lawsuit. Ms. Matarese claimed to be disabled under the law. She had a serious sensitivity to certain chemicals, a condition that required a clean and safe living environment. Her medical needs were known to management, but instead of accommodating her condition, the apartment complex and its staff made things worse. They failed to fix leaks and molds, hazard that directly impacted her ability to breathe. Staff ignored their complaints, failed to fix dangerous conditions, and dramatically raised their rent after they spoke up. After a 6-day bench trial, the judge found that the landlord and employees of the complex had violated the Fair Housing Act, specifically its protections for people with disabilities. The court agreed that Ms. Matarese had in good faith asked for a reasonable accommodation due to her medical condition, and that management, rather than address those conditions, retaliated against her. Under the Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act, housing providers are legally required to provide reasonable accommodations for tenants with disabilities and maintain safe and livable housing, especially when their health is at stake, and to avoid retaliating against those tenants who complain or assert their rights under the law. I'm happy to report that we won a substantial verdict in this case that was able to get some justice to the Matareses. If you're living with a disability, you have the right to ask for reasonable changes or accommodations, like mold removal or air filters, report unsafe or discriminatory conditions, and be free from retaliation or threats when you do so. And yes, that includes employment as well. These principles apply in both housing and the workplace. The Matareses stood up for their rights, and the court stood with them. If you're dealing with unsafe housing or being targeted because of a disability or advocating for your legal rights, you do have options. Document everything, talk to an attorney, and know that discrimination, whether at work or at home, is against the law.